The heavy oak door of the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club swung open on a Wednesday afternoon, letting in a shaft of autumn sunlight and something nobody expected: a kid. 11-year-old Marcus Chen stood in the doorway, backpack hanging off one shoulder, sneakers scuffed, and a size too small. His right eye was swollen nearly shut, an ugly purple-black bruise spreading across his cheekbone like spilled ink. The conversations in the clubhouse died mid-sentence. Pool cues froze. Someone turned down the jukebox playing Old Stones. 23 bikers, men who'd seen violence, lived hard, wore their scars like medals, all turned to stare at this small, damaged kid in their doorway. Victor Vic Kane was the first to move. At 54, Vic was the club president, a man whose leather vest carried more patches than most members had years of riding. His gray-streaked beard and weathered face told stories his mouth never would. He set down his beer and stood slowly. "Kid, you lost?" Marcus shook his head. His good eye, the one that wasn't swollen, scanned the room, taking in the leather, the tattoos, the chrome and steel scattered across workbenches. He was looking for something, or someone. "You looking for your dad?" This came from Cole. Wrench Sullivan, the club's mechanic, kneeling to the boy's level. Cole had 3 daughters at home, and recognized fear when he saw it. "No," Marcus said quietly. His voice cracked on the word. "My dad's dead. He died in Iraq. 4 years ago." The room shifted. Several bikers straightened. A few glanced at each other. Military families were sacred ground. Vic walked closer, his boots heavy on the concrete floor. "What brings you here, son?" Marcus reached into his backpack with trembling hands and pulled out a crumpled piece of paper. It was a flyer for career day at Lincoln Middle School, scheduled for Friday. Parents and community members were invited to come speak about their professions. "I need someone to come," Marcus said. The words rushed out like he'd been holding them too long. "For career day. Everyone else has someone, their dads or their moms or their uncles or someone. And I don't have anyone." "What about your mom?" Cole asked gently. "She works double shifts at the diner. She can't take time off. We need the money." Marcus's voice dropped. "And her boyfriend, Dale. He said he won't go. Said it's stupid kid stuff and I should grow up." "Dale do that to your eye?" Vic's voice had gone very quiet, very still. Marcus looked down. "No. That was Nicholas Bradford. He's in my class. He's been..." The boy's jaw worked, fighting tears. "He's been calling me names. Pushing me. Yesterday he found out my dad was military. He said soldiers are murderers. He said my dad probably killed kids. Then he took my dad's dog tags, I wear them every day, and he threw them in the trash." The temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. Andre Bear Martinez, a former Marine who'd done 2 tours, stood up slowly. His hands were clenched into fists. "So I punched him," Marcus continued, voice small. "First time I ever hit anybody. He hit me back. We both got suspended for 3 days. But," his voice broke, "but I don't care about that. I care that everyone's going to have someone at career day, except me. And Nicholas is going to be there with his dad. His dad's some big lawyer, and he's going to make fun of me for being alone. Again." Marcus looked up at Vic with his one good eye. "I heard people talking about your club. They said bikers are scary, but they help people sometimes. And I thought maybe." He swallowed hard. "Can you be my dad? Just for 1 day? Just for career day? So I'm not the only one without somebody?" "See," the silence that followed was deafening. 23 hardened bikers stared at this broken, brave kid who'd walked into a motorcycle clubhouse and asked strangers to be his family. Vic's throat worked. He'd lost his own father young. Never had kids of his own. Never thought he'd want them. But something about Marcus Chen, about his bruised face and his dead father and his desperate request, cracked something deep in Vic's chest. "Yeah," Vic said, his voice rough. "Yeah, Son, I'll come. Marcus's face crumpled with relief. Really? Really? What time? 9:30 Friday morning. Room 312. Vic nodded. I'll be there. But Luis, Doc Hernandez, the club's medic and former Army sergeant, stood up. Not just you, Vic. We'll all come. What? Marcus looked confused. All of us, Andre rumbled. If you're going to have family show up, kid, you're going to have family show up. We ride together. Within minutes, the entire Iron Brotherhood MC had voted unanimously. They'd all show up Friday morning. Marcus would have the biggest, loudest, most intimidating family at career day that Lincoln Middle School had ever seen. Marcus started crying. Not sad tears, overwhelmed tears, grateful tears. Cole pulled him into a hug, and the kid clung to him like a drowning man to driftwood. Thank you, Marcus whispered. Thank you so much. Friday morning arrived cold and bright. At 9:15 a.m., a convoy of 23 motorcycles rolled into the parking lot of Lincoln Middle School. The sound was thunder, chrome, and steel, and barely contained power. Parents arriving with their sensible sedans and minivans stopped and stared. The bikers dismounted in practiced unison. Leather vests gleaming with patches. Boots hitting pavement like a drumline. Some had gray in their beards. Some were young and tattooed. Some were massive, some were lean. But they all wore the Iron Brotherhood patch, and they all moved with purpose. Principal Stevens came running out. Excuse me. You can't. Vic handed him the official career day invitation that Marcus had given them. We're here for Marcus Chen. Room 312. We were invited. The principal's mouth worked like a fish. But there are so many of you. And 4. The Rezong and Expector. End quoting 77. End quoting 77. End quoting 77. Kid asked for family, Andre said flatly. This is his family. They walked inside. 23 bikers moving through elementary school, with hallways like a leather-clad army. Children pressed against lockers. Eyes wide. Teachers peeked out of classrooms. Room 312 was Miss Anderson's 6th grade class. When the door opened and the Iron Brotherhood filed in, filling the entire back of the room, every jaw dropped. Marcus was sitting in the front row. When he saw them, all 23, his face transformed. Pure joy, pure disbelief. He stood up fast, knocking his chair backward. You came, he breathed. You all came. Told you we would, Vic said, ruffling his hair. Miss Anderson, a young teacher barely out of college, looked like she might faint. But she recovered quickly. Welcome. Marcus, would you like to introduce your guests? Marcus walked to the front of the room, and 23 bikers fanned out behind him like an honor guard. He stood straighter than he had in months. This is the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club, Marcus said, voice steady. They're my family. From the 3rd row, Nicholas Bradford snorted. They're not your real family. Your real dad is dead. The room went ice cold. Every single biker's gaze locked onto Nicholas like targeting lasers. The boy shrank in his seat. Vic stepped forward. You're right. We're not his blood family. Marcus's father, Sergeant David Chen, gave his life serving this country in Iraq. He was a hero. He was a better man than most of us will ever be. His voice dropped dangerously. And if you disrespect his memory again, you'll answer to all of us. Nicholas went white. Miss Anderson intervened quickly. Mr. Kane, perhaps you'd like to tell the class about what you do? For the next hour, the Iron Brotherhood spoke. Vic talked about leadership and loyalty. Cole explained motorcycle mechanics and engineering. Andre spoke about military service and brotherhood. Luis discussed emergency medicine. He'd saved 3 lives at roadside accidents. They answered questions, showed patches earned for charity rides, explained their code. Protect the innocent. Help those in need. Never leave a brother behind. By the end, the kids weren't scared anymore. They were fascinated. But the moment that mattered happened when school ended. Marcus was walking to the bike rack when Nicholas stepped in front of him. Hey. Nicholas shuffled his feet. I'm sorry. About what I said. About your dad. That was wrong. Marcus stared. Why are you apologizing now? Because those bikers scared me. But also because... Nicholas looked down. My dad's a lawyer. He wins cases. But he's never saved anyone's life. And your dad did. Lots of times, probably. And that's brave. And I was a jerk. Marcus didn't know what to say. So he just nodded. Can I give you back your dog tags? Nicholas pulled them from his pocket. I didn't actually throw them away. I kept them. I don't know why. But you should have them. Marcus took the tags with trembling hands, slipped them over his neck where they belonged. It wasn't friendship. Not yet. But it was something. The real test came 2 weeks later. Marcus's mother, Jennifer, worked late shifts at the Riverside Diner. Her boyfriend Dale had been living with them for 8 months. 8 months of walking on eggshells, of keeping Marcus quiet, of pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. Dale was a construction worker with a temper and a drinking problem. He'd never hit Jennifer in front of Marcus. But Marcus knew. He heard things. Saw bruises. She tried to hide. That Friday night, Dale came home drunk. Marcus heard shouting. Heard something break. Heard his mother cry out. He grabbed his phone and did something he'd never thought he'd do. He called Vic. Marcus? Vic answered on the first ring. You okay? No. Dale's hurting my mom. Please. I don't know what to do. Address. Now. Marcus rattled it off. The line went dead. 8 minutes later, 8 minutes that felt like hours, motorcycles arrived. Not 23 this time. Just 5. Vic, Cole, Andre, Luis, and Jake Smoke Patterson, the club's sergeant-at-arms. They didn't knock. Vic tried the door unlocked and walked in. Dale had Jennifer backed against the kitchen counter, hand raised. She had a split lip and terror in her eyes. Marcus was trying to pull Dale away and getting shoved aside. Step away from her, Vic said. Dale spun around. Who the hell are you? Get out of my house! It's not your house. It's hers. Andre moved forward. 6'3" of muscle and controlled rage. And you're done here. Yeah? You gonna make me? Don't have to, Jake said. You're going to leave on your own. Because if you don't, we call the cops, and we tell them about the assault, and we testify, and you go to jail. She won't press charges. She needs me. Jennifer found her voice. No, I don't. Get out, Dale. I want you gone. Dale looked at her, then at the 5 bikers, then at Marcus, who'd moved to stand with them. He grabbed his jacket and left. Slammed the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. Jennifer collapsed into a chair, shaking. Louise checked her injuries while Vic called a friend who worked in victim services. Cole made tea. Andre talked quietly to Marcus, making sure he understood this wasn't his fault. He'd done the right thing calling for help. By midnight, Jennifer had a restraining order in process. Jake stayed outside all night, making sure Dale didn't come back. The others took turns on watch for the next week. Marcus's mother cried a lot those first days. But they were different tears. Relief tears. Freedom tears. Thank you, she told Vic, for helping my son, for helping me, for being there when no one else was. Vic just nodded. That's what family does. 6 months passed. Marcus's bruises healed. His confidence grew. He joined the school's robotics club, made actual friends. Nicholas never bullied him again. In fact, they became cautious allies. For Marcus's 12th birthday, the Iron Brotherhood threw him a party at the clubhouse. There was cake, There were presents, motorcycle magazines, a model bike kit, a leather jacket with his name stitched on it. But the real gift came when Vic pulled him aside. "Got something for you." He handed Marcus a patch. It read, "Iron Brotherhood, honorary member." "You're one of us now," Vic said. "Forever. You need anything you call. We'll be there." Marcus hugged him. Hard. This man who'd been a stranger 6 months ago, and was now the closest thing to a father he had. "Thank you," Marcus whispered, "for being my dad. Not just for one day, for all the days." Vic's eyes were wet. "Anytime, kid." The room erupted in cheers. 23 bikers, celebrating one brave boy who'd walked into their clubhouse and asked for a family and found one. Because sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the one you're born into. And sometimes the scariest looking people have the biggest hearts. And sometimes all it takes is one kid, one question, and the courage to ask.